And you would be in the movie, my friend. That would be pretty damn cool. All right, let's get into this, man, because I know somebody reached out to me earlier today. You've done such a great job breakthrough with people that are aspiring to be sportscasters, young sportscasters trying to take their game to the next level. And then you sent out the video today. I've retweeted it. You have a very, very special Zoom webinar here with Laura Rutledge and some other folks. Let everybody know, man, because I know that you are so passionate about this, of helping that next generation of sportscasters.
I am, Jay, and I appreciate you bringing it up, pal. The one thing I'll tell you is this, on the heels of what we were just talking about with Tom and Amir and all of that, it's about legacy, right? And whatever game I call at ESPN, whatever shows I host for the Tampa Bay Rays, I now know will pale in comparison, legacy-wise, to what I'm doing with the next generation of sportscasters. I started this Breaking and Breakthrough program 3 years ago. It's really been 4 to 5 years in the making, but I've been running these cohorts for the last 3+ years. And now I've built this community to about 200 people who have come through the program. So my business partner and I wanted to do something big this year to celebrate. And the live event that you mentioned has been months and months in the making. I wanted to make sure that it was something special that not just people within the Break-In and Breakthrough community could benefit from, but anybody who's interested in sportscasting, who wants to get a little peek behind the curtain as to what it's like to be in this business. But even more importantly and more valuable, to the people who are thinking to themselves, whether they're in high school, college, or beyond, man, I would love to try this out as a career. This event is something that we planned with all of those people in mind. You mentioned Laura Rutledge. She is one of the brightest stars at ESPN. She's not only accomplished in the studio as a host, she's also one of the best sideline reporters that the sportscasting industry has right now. Monday Night Football, the college football championship game, you name it, Laura Rutledge is there. So she's become a good friend, and she was nice enough. She's going to join us. You're going to get to talk to and hear from Laura Rutledge. Andy Jacobson, who not a lot of people would know, but that's because he doesn't want you to know about him. He is a producer, so he spends his time in a control room or a production truck outside the stadiums and the arenas. But he has ascended to the point where he is the lead producer for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. He's also been tasked in the past doing some of their most creative endeavors, like the Simpsons cast that they did this past year. Andy Jacobson was the producer for that broadcast. He's a good friend of mine. I worked with him on many, many Big 12 games through the years. He's going to join. And then I enlisted someone who is outside the sportscasting realm. But, Jay, one thing that I've learned more than anything in this 3-year process of hosting these Break-In and Breakthrough cohorts is that the biggest takeaway people get has nothing to do with what you do or how you act on air. It's how you handle gaining confidence, how you deal with adversity and anxiety and nervousness and failure and things like that. And in that sense, I wanted a voice outside of sportscasting to speak directly to that. And Andrew Deutscher is someone I've known for over 30 years. And I've watched him build his brand in the life coach space to the point where anybody can benefit from what he has to say. But he is going to be on this call as well for sportscasters to specifically ask him questions and get answers as it feels and pertains to our industry. So I think it's a murderer's row, if you will, of dynamite guest speakers. And I'm just glad that we're pulling this off. I don't know how it's going to work, but that's the best and most exciting thing about it. Sometimes you just got to try and see how it goes. And the fantastic thing about it is that registration literally opened today at 8 o'clock this morning, and I've already been flooded with people signing up for it. So I'm super grateful for that. We have 6 weeks to register, but there's a limited amount of spaces available. So for anybody watching and listening right now, if you want to sign up, I made it as affordable as we can. A portion of the proceeds are going to go to the Dick Vitale Pediatric Cancer Fund. Dick is a dear, dear friend of mine and an inspiration to so many. So I wanted to have a philanthropic piece to this.
Right.
So a portion of the proceeds are going to go to that. So know when you sign up for this, you're also signing up for doing a good deed and raising money for pediatric cancer awareness. But the fact is that there are limited spots available. So if you're thinking about it, if you're curious about it, sign up as early as you can to reserve your spot, because at some point, if the interest level continues on the pace it has been for the last handful of hours, we're going to have to close off registration a lot earlier than I anticipated.
RichHollenberg.com. I just went to it right now. It's right there on the front of the screen, so you can't miss it. We'll also put the link here on the interview as well. I want to piggyback on what you said there, because I hang out a lot with Phil Esposito at these Lightning games, and I'm always busting his chops of, he scored 76 goals. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? And I, oh man, it must have been great being a Bruin and being a Ranger. And he's just like, yeah, my legacy will be the Lightning. And I go, Phil, you scored 700 goals. He goes, yeah, but I'm proudest of being the guy that brought the Lightning to the NHL. Right. It was about the legacy of what he was able to leave and the impact that he had on others, rather than the amount of times that he was able to win the Stanley Cup or put the biscuit in the basket there. So I totally get what you're saying right there. I want to ask you about that rewarding feeling, though, Rich, to be able to, and I see you take pictures with youngsters around the country at these random games. You're a dad, you're a husband, you've done a lot of great things. You've called games. We just spoke about the Amir game. But when you have those young people still trying to figure out what they want to do in their life, come up to you and say, you've impacted me in this way. I mean, can you put that into words? It just seems like a feeling that, when you close your eyes, you think about it, it's just like, there's just nothing better than that.
Yeah, it is. And the reason that I started it was, simply put, there is a severe lack of feedback that we get in our business. And I say you're in the same business as me if we look at it in totality. Right. We're in the sports media business. And most people think, if I only get to this level, then I'll have it made because my bosses will take care of me and they'll help make me better. And then if I get to the next level, it's going to be even better than that. And nothing could be farther from the truth, Jay. Right. You get more feedback when you're just starting out than when you climb that proverbial ladder. And even then, you don't get a lot of feedback. But that doesn't mean that you have to succeed or climb that ladder on your own. I stand on the shoulders of so many people who I consider colleagues, mentors, friends, inspirations. And so I wanted to be a small part of that for the next generation. Right. And it's all about paying it forward. And now I'm at the age, where I don't feel like, I'm on the back nine of my sportscasting career, so I got to come up with something else to do. I still feel like I have some things to say and some advice and teachings to offer. And why not do that while I'm still in the prime of my career, instead of wait till that's over and have to do it from a rocking chair? So you're absolutely right. I mean, I love doing it. Does it take a lot of time? Yes. Time is my most valuable asset. But that's one of my first lessons that I teach in my cohort. If you are not willing to make those kind of sacrifices, to work at night, to work on the weekends, to work on the holidays, to miss birthday parties and baseball games and things like that, then guess what? You're not cut out for this industry. Go find another job where you work 9 to 5 and you have off on the weekends and a couple of weeks of vacation. But if you're in it for the right reasons, because you love it and you can't imagine doing anything else as you're living, then sportscasting is really, really rewarding. I don't feel like I work a day in my life with this job, and I feel the same way hosting these cohorts. I do it on Sunday nights. I could certainly be kicking my feet up on Sunday night with a glass of wine with my wife or hanging out with my children. Right. But instead, I spend a good portion of my Sunday nights with the up-and-comers in this industry, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.